Hi, I'm Yael Arbakari, and this is the story of how my inability to live on $15 an hour led me to a heartbreaking conclusion. A New Thoughts and Theory blog. Save yourself. I've been working overtime. No, that isn't a metaphor. I mean, I've literally chosen to work in excess of 40 hours a week for 2 weeks in a row now. And before you ask, no, it's not because I love my job. I can think of far better ways to waste my hours than in the confines of a soulless space that is a call center environment. I'm doing it because at $15 an hour, I can barely afford to cover my living expenses. So when my over 100,000-mile vehicle decided now was as good a time as any for its oil to be changed, I had to put in overtime to ensure I could afford the near $100 service it takes for me to put the good stuff in her. And it'd be nice to have some gas money while I'm at it. But the fact that I had to sacrifice my time for an investment of diminishing returns made me angry. Angry because I traded precious time I won't get back, time better spent with my children, my husband, and on my writing, to a company that could give a shit about my goals and aspirations. Angry because I was moving further and further away from the things I love doing. But worst of all, I was angry because I was trading my future time and well-being for a small chance at survival today. The longer I punched the clock, the more time I spent wasting away behind a desk being yelled at for things that were not directly my fault, the more I felt myself slipping into the darkness that forced me out of the corporate environment 2 years earlier, the place where no light or hope could reach me. And for a moment, I almost lost the battle with the darkness. The turning point. But a funny thing happened. I woke up one morning this week and accepted that nothing in my situation was going to change. My job would not suddenly up and decide to pay me a living wage, nor was I suddenly going to gain back time from my day to do the things that truly brought me happiness. There was no amount of sleep I could get that would rejuvenate my exhausted soul, no amount of food I could eat or intoxicants I could take that would help me escape this permanent nightmare. In realizing there was no way out, I finally made peace with an idea that I had long discarded because of the unhealthy assumption lurking beneath its surface, a concept that inherently suggests that a person is an island unto themselves. But lying there in the darkness, eyes blotched and cheeks tear-strewn, the only comfort I found was in coming to terms with the reality of my situation, that there was no comfort to be had, nor would there be any saviors lurking in the background, waiting to swoop in and save me from this nightmare. If I wanted out, I had to pay the price for my own escape and accept that. There are no saviors on the road to success. Angels of mercy, maybe. Soldiers of fortune, more likely. But absolutely no saviors. Accepting this meant no more complaining of all the things that made me hate my job and how it made me feel. It meant that the only way I was going to reclaim my time was by making it. I had to dig deep and summon the discipline to be a team of one and get out of this pit. I needed to use principles I learned long ago and coach myself. I had to hold myself accountable to the goals I set at the top of my year. I needed to find the answers to my questions instead of waiting for people to provide them. And above all else, I had to switch from robbing from my future to investing in it, whether my job supported me in that endeavor or not, and maybe pawn some of my shit. The dilemma. I fought with this realization for years because it perpetuates the behavior that turns capitalism into a toxic economic model. The idea that you have to save yourself has a daunting effect on survivors, creating one of two types of people: the I had to so you have to types, or the I had to so you don't. And unfortunately, as any glimpse of congressional debates will show, we always end up with far more of the former than the latter. I am firmly of the belief that not everyone will make the choice to save themselves. Not everyone has the resources, internal or otherwise, to do it. Besides, the path of self-directed individual is narrow and treacherous, littered with obstacles, hiccups, and sand traps designed to snatch you back to the hell you escaped from. It would be better if society instead prioritized the survival of people over companies and bureaucracies, if they invested in communities and individuals rather than Wall Street. I pray one day I can see the alternate reality in which people of the U.S. are paid well, have single-payer health care, better schools, and all the things I believe we deserve as a collective on this soil. But alas, society doesn't agree with me, and the race goes to they that are willing to walk the treacherous road, those willing to subdue their passions and sacrifice their comfort today to yield greater returns tomorrow. And if I'm going to pay the piper, no matter which way the clock hand turns, I might as well pay now rather than later. Conclusion. Why am I sharing this insight with you? Because the people that are crazy enough to believe they can change the world are the ones who normally do. But before they can, they have to be crazy enough to sacrifice the normal world for the new one they are building. And if you are on my page, reading my work, chances are you're one of those people, which means you are crazy enough to spend a few years living like no one else will, just so you can create a better world for all those who come after you. It's going to be painful, and it's absolutely going to suck. But just remember, there are no saviors. The only way out is the one you make, and frankly, the rest of us are counting on you to do it. Wish me luck. This has been a Thoughts and Theory blog from Yael Arbakari. For more thoughts and theory and other writings from Yael, please visit www.yaelarbakari.com. Thank you.